Hey guys, what's up and welcome. I am Matthew Msingati, the hybrid, the double-edged sword. I am a designer and at the same time I'm a developer from South Africa. In this video, I want to ask you a question and I believe this is a very old question. Is form more important than functionality or functionality comes first than the form? Let me just show you an example. You know the UI. When we talk of the UI, we are talking of the design. We are talking of the form of something, okay? We're not talking about the functionality. We're not talking about the behavior. The UI is a form. For instance, let's say there is a UI library, which is ShadCN, and there is one, which is ShadCN, and they've got a date component, and here is a date component. The component form is awesome. The UI is awesome. So I hope you understand the idea of form versus functionality. So the form is beautiful. Check here. You see, this pops up. This is nice, well styled, and up to standard. And then let's talk about something else, a different world, which is functionality. What if maybe when I click a date here, this calendar doesn't close? Well, you might think that this is Matthew's mistake. Let's go back here and click. So if you choose here, it looks like this date card or calendar doesn't disappear. Is that the perfect functionality for this form? Is the form phenomenal? Yes, the form is phenomenal. The form is phenomenal. But is the functionality what backs that up? Is the functionality supplementary or complements that? Okay, that's the right question. Does the functionality complements the form? For me, it looks like it doesn't. Obviously, somebody might feel like, Matthew, you are trying to take this too far unnecessarily. Let me just show you that I am not doing that. How am I going to show you that? I created my own date picker that can disappear when you click here. Let's just go here, and here is a date picker. Is this beautiful? At least in my own eyes. Obviously, I was going to say my work is beautiful, but this date picker, it's presentable, okay? The form is on point. Let's click here, okay? It presents a default HTML date. Yes, of course. And when you click on it, the date is shown here and this disappear. So this is the functionality. So in this video, guys, I want us to take this topic, or to dive deep in this topic. What am I hoping to teach you in this video? I am hoping to teach you how to design perfect component, not UI first component, not components that are beautiful but they compromise the functionality, okay? Components that are designed with the functionality in mind and the beauty aspect of it, okay? Let me just show you what I did. So I was sitting at home, I was like, I'm bored, and a thought came into my mind that I am a genius. And I was like, really? Let me explore. So that thinking led me to creating a navigation component. Not only a navigation component that is beautiful in terms of the form, but that has got the functionality as well. A component that is the best of both worlds. Something that I think in the development industry these days, it's very rare. Okay, as I've shown you here on ShadCN, we've got this component, and when you click here, this doesn't disappear. I don't like this. Okay, so let me take you through my thought process and how I can help you to become a better developer. Most UI libraries, they are UI first, as if whatever that they have came up with or they have designed, it's not going to be used. Okay, so when it comes to the usability, you'll find out that you struggle. So that is the problem that I was solving. Problem number two, most UI component, they are closed component. Well, this is a new term. I'm not sure if it exists in the industry, but when I'm saying they are closed component, this is what I mean. If you are creating a component that is going to be beautiful, I'm happy for that. Congratulations. But remember, the component lives somewhere. It has got its own environment. For instance, let's say we were talking about fish and the sea. Obviously, we want to get a big fish and we want to fry it and we want to eat it. Okay. And that's it. Okay. But now, if we only look at the size of the fish without considering where it comes from, well, maybe we might die earlier than we think simply because the fish might be big, but it's not big as it's fat or it's healthy. But it might happen that it has swollen. Maybe it has eaten a poison. As a result, its chemical reaction changes and it becomes bigger. Do you see that when you look at things from only one perspective in life, you might die earlier than you think? Okay, so let's take the same example to here. Okay, this is beautiful, of course, as you can see, but when it comes to the functionality, it becomes a problem. Okay, and also this is a closed component. This is a big fish. Okay, but this fish, the person who has captured this fish didn't really not necessarily care much about the environment, but this is a closed component. What do I mean by that? Whenever you click here, check here, guys, okay, this date changes, right? Yes. But what if the environment here, this is the sea, what if here you might want to get the same date but display it somewhere else? Well, somebody might feel like, Matthew, you are pushing this too far unnecessarily. As I am using component, I'm starting to realize that some of these guys, they are looking at the beauty aspect of it without taking care much of how is this component going to connect with other libraries and also with other things around it. Okay, so when I'm saying they are closed, I mean that they don't expose some functionalities and methods for us to use externally outside of them. So when I'm saying they are closed, it's like they keep everything within themselves. Well, if you think that I'm pushing this too far unnecessarily, check the met form, a component that I have created. Okay, this component, it has got an image, a met image. Okay, you can use this component. Check here. Okay, this component to select an image. Okay, to select an image. Check here, guys. Select an image. Okay, this image is being displayed here, but this component exposes some data so that if a module or somebody outside this component wants to use that data so that it can. And check here, we've got a corresponding displayer for this component. So this component, it's not a closed component simply because whatever that it gets from the computer, it shares it with other modules. This is something that is very rare in development now. I am not sure if these guys from ShadCN, they don't use these components to see that there are some defects. Okay, for me, guys, I'm not sure for the other person. For me, if I can, in fact, if the default, remember, it's not like it's me, if the default date picker, when you pick a date, remember this one, it's a customized one. Okay, if the default one closes, why your own ShadCN one won't close? Okay, so these are the problems that I am trying to solve, and also in solving them, I'm going to help you to become a better developer. So I created a nav component. Okay, if you don't know, I am creating my own component library. Okay, I've just realized there are some things that I'm not happy with ShadCN, Material UI, Chakra UI, and I was like, the only way to solve the problem is to create my own. Okay, so you can watch my other videos where I'm explaining Met component. So I've decided to create. Let me demonstrate this navigation item. Okay, this Met nav component. Check here, guys, this component first. Okay, it's aware of the methods or the functionality, what people will expect it to do. So as a result, it's not like a nav component, which is a square thing with list of item. No. First of all, you can click here so that you can expand it and collapse it. Okay. As you can see, guys, if you collapse it, this is how it shows the navigation items. If you expand it, this is how it shows the navigation item. Why I've decided to create this? Simply because here I was not creating a component library or UI library. Okay. This didn't come from creating something beautiful, but it came from making my life easier, solving the problem that I have. So meaning that usability comes first, or not necessarily comes first, because as much as I'm a developer, but I'm a designer as well. So I'm like shooting killing two birds in one stone. Okay. So I like the design because it's nice and neat and straight to the point, but also I've managed to hit the functionality. So that's number one. This is very rare in the UI library development industry. Okay. So as you can see, guys, this component is aware of what users are expecting. Okay. Number two, this component is aware of the routes. Okay, it knows that if I am a navigation component and people will be clicking to me to navigate to different routes, I might as well be aware of the routes. Okay, so it consumes the route. So what do I mean by that? This component knows when it's in the documentation. Okay, then this will be red because it knows that this routes to documentation. I don't think there is more of these type of components in the development industry. Okay, components that are aware of the entire network, components that are aware of the ecosystem. Are you a date picker? Yes. Do you know that there are some other things that the user might be interested in or the developer from you? If yes, why don't you expose those? Okay, if you know that there are some other things that you have to consume, why don't you consume those? So this component is consuming, I can say this one, it's for specifically for Next.js. It's consuming these routes and it changes according to this route. So if you are using this component, you don't really have to configure anything. You just need to tell it what is your base route and what is the routes for these ones, and that's it. So check here, guys. Okay, as you can see, documentation, home. As you can see, sorry, about. Okay, here is about, and then YouTube when you click here. So as you can see, this component is not just a beautiful UI component, and when you want to integrate it with other things, more especially that concerns it, you'll find out that it's a closed component. That is point number two. Point number three, the environment. This component knows that, okay, that it's living in a web environment, okay, and the web environment is concerned about responsiveness. So let's test this component. There's nothing you can do, as you can see, guys. Okay, at a certain breakpoint, this component changes. Okay, as you can see, it adapts to for mobile. Okay, well, maybe some other component libraries they try, but they don't push this further. So I've designed this component in such a way that it's mobile responsive. Okay, so this is how it looks on the mobile. Okay, as you can see, guys, this is how it looks on the mobile. And also you can add these and you can delete these. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, so as much as you've got your navigation items here, you might want to have a logo here or a corporate identity or an app identity. Okay, and at the same time here, you might want to have some sort of user settings or something. So this component helps you with that as well. This doesn't end there. Okay, as much as this is a nav component, okay, there are some functionalities, there are some methods, because this nav needs to be aware of the environment. Okay, it doesn't need to be selfish. Okay, It needs to care about the environment. It needs to know that the programmer or the developer might want some Boolean values from it because it has got the state. So the developer might be interested in those states. Okay, check here, guys. Okay, not only this exposes some state, check here, it has got a corresponding, okay, it has got a corresponding toggler, okay, that you can use. As you can see, guys, it's not tied into this component. You can place it anywhere, but it comes with the met package. Okay, you can place this anywhere, similar to this image here. Okay, this comes with this image. Okay, but you can place this anywhere. Okay, it has exposed this image so that you can use it anywhere. Okay, let's check here, guys. Okay, so this component, it comes with this toggler. Okay, check here. If I want to make this invisible, I can toggle here. This is in the layout of the Next.js file based system, okay, or system. So as you can see, you can toggle it. Okay, and here you can expand and collapse. Okay, but it doesn't end there. This component exposes those Boolean values, or it exposes those yes, for now let me just call them Boolean values, or those setters. Okay, so that in case as a developer, when this is expanded, you want to do something else, you want to run a side effect, you can do that. How do I know that? Check here, guys. Okay, here I'm in the layout somewhere outside this component, but I know when this is expanded. I know when it's not expanded. I'm outside the component, but the component has been designed in such a way that it exposes that functionality, because as a developer, I might be interested in it. Most of these UI libraries, they are beautiful, yes. They are styled, yes. But when you want to access some of the functions, okay, the built-in functions, which I was hoping that these libraries can expose those functions, because I want to make some certain decisions as a developer. It looks like they were only thinking about, is it beautiful? Okay, whether does it serve the purpose or does it fits perfectly, I don't think they were thinking much about that. Is ShadCN a powerful component library? Yes. Is it a component library that I'm using? Yes. But that doesn't mean I must use it religiously. If there are some things that I don't like about it, I think I can change them. Okay. So obviously some of them, they are minors, like styling when the component is on focus. As you can see here, it's not as bold as the way ShadCN is. Okay, but some others, they go as deep as, what can I say, changing the whole ShadCN form. Okay, let me just give you an example. Let's go to the ShadCN form in the documentation. Okay, let's go to docs, and let's go to ShadCN, and let's go to form. Okay, let's look for ShadCN form. This is the reason why I created a met form. My apologies about this. Form is supposed to be here. Okay, now let's test this form. Okay, let's see how this form has been designed. Okay, so each form has got a form field. Okay, and each form field has got this number of lines. Okay, this is something that you can avoid. This is embedded in this code. It's part of the code. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, plus minus 12 line for each form field. Okay, so as you can see, guys, you can come here and check. Let's look for a code that is more like a complete code. Okay, let's just look for more like a complete code. This is a complete code. Where is the corresponding code for it? Okay, let's see. I don't want to copy. Okay, I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Yes. Okay, I think it's this one. Check here, guys, in the return. Okay, let's check how many lines do they have. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 1920, we can say 21. Okay, it's 21 lines. Okay, in the form only. Remember this code, it starts here. Okay, it starts here, but in the form only, they've got plus minus 20 lines. Okay, let's check what components do they have in that 20 lines. Okay, well, we can say they've got the input and they've got the pattern. Maybe we can just mention the two labels, or the label and the description. Okay, but the main components here, let's say, which are the essence of a form, it's an input and the pattern. They've got 20 lines. Okay, cool. Now, since I'm telling you that we need, as developers or the development community, to really, really, really think about form and functionality. Okay, to really, really think about using it. So when I was using this ShadCN form, well, it was working, but the amount of code that I had to, I'm not sure, copy and paste or write, I felt like something can be done. So what I did, I just went to React Hook form documentation. Let me just check the React Hook form. Okay, I went to React Hook form documentation. I read this documentation as much as I can, because ShadCN, it's more like wrapping this what can I say, this package, okay, or library. So I read as much as I can about this library, and I've watched a lot of tutorials, and after I was clued up about it, I came with my own met form. Let's go back here. We've got only two major component, input and the button. We are sitting at um 21 lines. Okay, let's say maybe with the input only, we are sitting at 18 lines, let's say. So let's say maybe plus minus 20. Let's come back here. Here I am using the met form. Okay, this is a met form. It achieves the same thing as what ShadCN is trying to do here. Okay, but let's just check how many lines would ShadCN produce. Okay, let's see. Let's just take the numbers of 12 lines for each component, which we saw here on their documentation. So we were going to have 12 lines for this one, 12 lines for this one, 12 lines for this one, 12 lines for this one. Okay, so it was going to be 12 12 24, and then 12 12 is another 24, and that's almost like 48 lines. Okay, remember, there is an image here, there is some other component, there is a button, there is also another, what can I say, another a button here. There is a register, and also there is login. And if you look at this form, we are talking about the functionality. Okay, not only it validates beautifully, okay, but if there is an error in your own form, it shows you here that in overall there is an error. So as you fix your own mistakes, as you fix all your errors, check here, guys, this will change to a tick. Okay, as you can see, guys, now this changes to a tick. So I'm trying to say there is more to it than just 1, 2, 3, 4 component. Okay, which I would like to believe, for 4 components, including the image, okay, with all this functionality, believe me, ShadCN will almost hit 60 lines or more. Okay, believe me. So let's just check this component, how many lines it has. Okay, so we can just go to this project. Which one is it? I think it's a to-do application. And then do I have add to do here? Yes. And then this is the back end. My apologies about that. Let's see, where is home? Let's see, where is my add to do? Let me just move up here. This is the auth. Yes, API. I don't want that. Components, app components, add to do form. Okay, add to do form. Okay, cool. Now let's check here, guys. Okay, this is the met form. If you look at my components here, okay, all my components can be in one line. Okay, what do I mean by that? Check here. This is a text component. It starts here, it ends here. Okay, somebody might feel like it's plus minus 4 lines. Not really. This is prettier. Prettier decided to format this code like this. According to me, Okay, when I was designing this component library, I wanted every every input, every form field to have one line. Okay, and I've achieved that. Okay, so check here. If we talk of a match text field, it's one line. In ShadCN, I think it's 12 lines. Okay, so if we talk about the date picker, if you do the same thing here, it will only be one line. So if we talk about the return somewhere here, we are talking about a display image, one line, some sort of, and then we've got this container here, something that I've put here, but we can count all the lines that are here, including this empty one that I can easily collapse, but let's count all of them. 1, 2, this one, let's mix one line. 3, 4, 5, this one makes one line. 6, this one makes one line. 7, we can count even this one. 8, there is a loading spinner as well. These ones, let's just count them like 8, 9, like this. 10, and the loading wrap 11, and the form 12, and I think this is the closing one. It's almost like 13. So this component, as complex as it is, in terms of the JSX that it has been returned, it's more like 13 lines, almost equal this one. But this one has got only one component, almost equals this one. So where am I going with this? Am I trying to say maybe I'm better than ShadCN, or not at all? Believe me, I am using ShadCN as we speak, and I think I am going to continue to use it, maybe up until I maybe learn a new UI library. Okay, but where I'm coming from is, as developers, okay, I don't think in the industry we are doing enough, number one, to think about what we are doing, like to really, really, really think about it. Why do I say that? Okay, whenever you find a guy like me who is a coder, but at the same time more like a philosopher, somebody who likes to break down concept and explain it to you and bend the concept into your mind, most people on YouTube will watch that video for 3 to 6 seconds and they will comment, you are taking too long. You can ShadCN take 3 hours? Is a to-do app worth 10 hours? Okay, so those type of student, they are used to YouTube clones, okay, to Spotify clones, projects that only show you how to do things. After you are done that thing, you can create another one, and sometimes you can modify it, and in most cases you just take that project as your portfolio. That doesn't work for you, and it doesn't work for the coder who was showing you that, simply because most coders are complaining, YouTube coders are complaining that students or YouTube student, they take their own portfolios and present them to the employers, and they don't like that. Obviously, even me, I was not going to like that, because it means that the student didn't follow me in a way, but he just copied and pasted the source code and changed few things. But if you look at it on a deeper level than that, those students didn't copy and paste. They follow the instructor exactly. So, meaning that if I follow the instructor exactly and get exactly what the instructor did, what does that mean? From the student perspective, I did what I'm supposed to do, and I'm assuming that this is my own work, even if it can be exactly like you. So, do you see the problem of rooting for quick project, okay, cool and awesome one, okay, instead of the theory and understanding? Okay, so I'm not saying people must run away from project and to do app and Spotify clone. I'm not saying that, but I'm just trying to say that at the same time you owe yourself maybe at least 2 hours in a month for refining your understanding, so that you can be able to answer interview questions, so that one day you can look at a component library like ShadCN and also pick up that this is somewhat a bad user experience, okay, because you understand. Maybe in the next video, I might get into details if you might want to know how I have achieved this. Okay, but I'm just going to give you some sort of a summary so that I can help you with the understanding and also help you on how to think about React so that you can not only write code, beautiful and functional component, but those ones that fit everywhere. Another problem that I have faced with most UI libraries, including ShadCN, you can't integrate them. Okay, if you've got let's say this date and then you want to integrate it with another library, you will have to get into it, and in the methods and functions you will have to go up and down their own code looking for a way to hack it. And my question is, why do I have to hack your code? Didn't you test your code and use it and picked that up that I might want to edit this, I might want to access this method? If then you did that homework, why didn't you expose those methods for somebody else to use? Just like here, this guy is aware of this is not expanded, and then now it's aware that it has been expanded. In terms of the visibility, it knows that this component is not visible. How does it know? Simply because this component has been designed in such a way that it exposes those. So what's the advantage of this way of thinking? Okay, open components than closed component. This component, it's easy to integrate and it works well, not with any package, with anything. It works well with anything. Okay, it's like bulletproofed. You just take it and paste it and it will work. When you want to modify some things, it has got some ways in which it makes it easier for you to modify. It exposes some method. Okay, so this one, how I've managed to do it. Okay, obviously there are some component which is, let's say, a navigation component. So we've got this nav component first. Okay, it's nav component, and we've got the trigger. So these are the two major components here. So this nav component, it has got a lot of props. Okay, it has got a lot of props. Okay, for instance, these boolean values, these ones, and also these ones. Okay, so now how did I manage to isolate this, okay, from this entire module, such that this can go alone and this can go alone? I have created my own custom hook. Okay, and I think the name of that hook is use metnav. Okay, that hook will then supply you with this component and this one separately, as much as you are using this component and this one separately, but that hook unifies them. It provides the interaction. So even if you can take this to somewhere else and take this one to somewhere else, this hook, it's somewhat the custom hook, it's some sort of connecting them. Okay, cool. And then somebody might ask, and then how does this component then, or this hook, some sort of exposes then these methods or whatever? Okay, so these are setters. Okay, so this guy, this component, okay, it receives some setters. Let me just say this hook, this custom hook, use metnav hook, it receives some setters. Okay, or let's say some set states. Okay, so this set states is set is visible and set is expanded. Okay, it receives them. So when it's toggling its own states for its own business, meaning that, as you see, for its own business, it also helps you to set the setters that you have passed to it. So if you pass some setters, it will do twice the job. It will toggle its own and it will toggle yours. It will set visible its own and it will set visible its own. I am Matthew Msengati. I am the designer and developer. I hope I have managed to help you in this video to really think about development and what's the best way to do things. Please, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next one.